But we made mistakes too. The second mistake was the fact that peace, and in many ways liberal democratic values, had become associated with a kind of waspy elite, what I call the white Ashkenazi supporters of peace. Sadly, we did not find a way to communicate with our own people. Peace, liberalism, democracy became associated with prosperous, privileged Tel Aviv. If we don't deal with that issue, we cannot win the minds and hearts of many Israelis. The third mistake was that we, being so desperate for good reasons, because of the Likud and the settlers and the occupation and all that, we developed a negative ethos. We began living against Begin, against Shamir, against Netanyahu. We lost the positive. We became too critical, too judgmental, again, for good reasons. But it developed into a kind of negative state of mind. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama did not win the American elections with a negative ethos. If you don't have something positive, something inspirational to say, you don't have a chance in the political game. And then the fourth mistake that has to do with this was being politically impotent. As much as I despise the settlement project, the settlers have been so much more sophisticated politically than we've been. They've been doing all the right things for the wrong cause. And while they've been doing that, taking over the country, we sat in our corner, our shouting corner, like some sort of protest movement from the 1970s. We didn't act in a sophisticated political way. To put it in a sentence, the Israeli left, the liberal Zionists, are totally right when in criticizing the policies of this government and previous governments, occupation, settlement, the drift to the nationalism, even the attack from like political, religious elements on our democracy. But this is just 1/3 of reality. We lost the vocabulary, how to describe the greatness of Israel, the miracle of Israel, and we lost the vocabulary, how do we deal with Palestinian extremism and Arab political failure. There is Jewish fascism. There is Israeli fascism on the fringes. But there is also Palestinian fascism. And there is Arab extremism. Where does it say that liberals cannot talk about it? Where does it say that we should shut up when horrible things are happening around us? By focusing only on Israeli evil, only on Israeli mistakes, we lost the ability to deal with reality, and we lost the ability to communicate with our own people. The outcome of this is the great Israelis, the real Zionists, and I totally agree with what Amos said this morning, are perceived now as in Israel as detached from reality, as if we do not know where we live, and we are perceived as detached from Israeli society. These are the two great challenges. Israel is a democracy. If we want to maintain it as a democracy, if we want to save it, we have to use democratic tools in order to convince our fellow Israelis that we are not detached from reality and we are not detached from Israeli society. How do we do this? I'll try to be brief. One, we need a new peace concept. The problem with the concept of the two-state solution is the word solution. There is no solution tomorrow morning. And this illusion that only if we'd given Abbas another 0.5%, if only that, if Barak was more polite, if Olmert was more generous. There is no two-state solution tomorrow because the conflict is so deep and the environment is so hostile. We must endorse a two-state vision, launch two-state dynamics, and create a two-state state as soon as possible within a regional context. The second issue, the second answer, is do Israeli nation building. Many years ago, Amos Oz went to Bet Shemesh, and the people of Bet Shemesh told you, you lefties, you have a heart for the Palestinians, but you don't have a heart for us. We have to change that. We have to weave the peace project, the end of occupation project, the Saving Israel project into a nation-building project, which addresses social issues, economic issues, identity issues, ethos issues. It cannot be a separate issue. Then, the third thing that we must do, which is part of it, is a dialogue with our fellow Israelis. It is unacceptable that we will go anywhere in the world to talk to the Palestinians, which we should do, but we don't talk and don't listen with respect to our fellow Israelis. We have to respect their fears, their concerns, their traditions, their values. We need that dialogue. The fourth thing is having a dialogue with the progressive elements in the West and with the young Jews of the diaspora. I totally subscribe to what Mick Davis said here, and I'm appalled by what some Israelis said here. Every Jew in the diaspora has a stake in Israel. I don't want Jews of the diaspora to be shut up. On the contrary, what happens to us affects you, what happens to you affects us. It is totally unacceptable that you will be expected to stand by Israel, whatever happens, and you will not have a say in where Israel is going. Because my life has become large extent about the dialogue with the millennials, with the young Jews of the diaspora in this country, in America, and elsewhere. I don't want to get into that deep issue, but this is a critical issue. If we don't listen to the young people, first to the young Jews of the diaspora, if we don't find a way to inspire them, to be relevant for them, to understand their concepts, and actually tie Israel into their world, we're endangering the future. The fifth thing that we must do is to just do. It's enough of petition writing. It's enough of a protest movement. It's time for us to grow up, to be leaders, to act, and to act in the real world as it really is. 99 years ago, in this city, the negotiation had begun which led to the Balfour Declaration. Without the greatness of the Anglo-Jewish community, without the genius of Chaim Weizmann's Zionism, we would not have had Israel. There is talk of anti-Semitism, and I'm aware, although I'm an Israeli-born Israeli, I have a long Jewish nose and I can sense anti-Semitism. But there was much more anti-Semitism in this city in 1916, 1917 than there is today. But we had sechel. We were smart. We combined realism with morality, and we managed to extract the Balfour Declaration right here, which shaped our history. I ask all of you present here, the Anglo-Jewish community, the progressive forces in the world, Jews and non-Jews, to join with benign, enlightened Israelis in the project of saving Israel. There is no time, but in my mind, there is hope. Let's act upon it. Thank you very much.